Everyone to the September 23rd meeting of the Douglas County Board of County Commissioners. Just want to pass on a little bit of information regarding how we run our meetings on Zoom during this time of social distancing. First of all, the chair is usually late and his internet's right now. That's not on here actually. If visual aids are used during the meeting, the presenter will share the screen with the call. Participants will not be able to view them without a computer, smartphone, or tablet. All participants will be entered into the meeting with their audio muted, meaning the commission and the public will not be able to hear you. Presenters will be unmuted when their agenda item comes up. We ask that all online presenters use good conference call etiquette and mute their line when not speaking and introduce themselves each time they speak. If you have a public comment on the agenda item or under regular public comment, please use the raise your hand function on Zoom. Staff will call on you and unmute you. We ask that speakers give their names and addresses for the minutes. The county reserves the right to shut off the microphone and remove any speaker from the meeting if they're vulgar, rude, or inappropriate. The chat function has been disabled and a recording of this meeting will be available on our website after each meeting. With that, we'll launch into our agenda. Maybe. I believe the first item on the agenda is our consent agenda. Hey, there we go. Is our consent agenda. And our consent agenda has sorry, hang on, getting organized here. Our consent agenda has 5 items on it. Is there any member of the commission who would like to remove an item from the consent agenda?
I do not.
No.
Neither do I. Is there any member of the public who would like to remove an item from the consent agenda? Sarah? Okay. Jill, anybody online?
No.
Thank you. With that, I'd take a motion for items 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 on the consent agenda.
Move to approve.
Second.
Moved and seconded. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Now moving on to our regular agenda. Item 1 is a zoning and code item asking for additional time for finding of fact regarding the consideration to approve or deny the request to rezone Z20-00167, approximately 69.6 acres from AG1 to CP Cluster Probation District. Sarah, do you need anything on this?
Just commissioners, what I will say is that per the commission's direction, we were developing the findings of fact. We found out that we had a conflict of interest with the applicant and Stevens and Brand, which is the county's legal counsel. So we have sought outside counsel to help us with the findings of fact. I would anticipate my target date for having those back on the agenda for consideration is October 7th. I believe we can have that on the October. On the October 7th meeting. So I don't know if the commission wants to defer it to that specific date, we will make sure we put some sort of update on the 7th if we are not able to meet that date.
Commissioners, any questions or comments for Sarah? This is a public agenda item. Oh, this is a regular agenda item. So is there anybody in the public who would like to provide comment on this item there at the courthouse, Sarah?
No, there isn't.
Anybody online, Jill?
I'm not seeing anyone, but maybe a reminder, if they do, they need to raise their hand.
Okay, not seeing anybody. take a motion to, I'll make the motion to defer the item to an upcoming meeting date.
Second.
Sarah, is that enough, or do you need actual date on that?
That's sufficient.
Okay. Moved and seconded. All those in favor say aye.
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 Aye. Passes 3-0. This is Jill. Is that correct?
Yes.
Hi, Jill.
Good evening, commissioners. Here you go. Put my video on. This is I'm pleased to bring to you a follow-up item to a study session that we had this past month on August 26th to discuss a request from the Child Advocacy Center of Douglas County requesting funding for general operations of what will be a new organization serving Douglas County. The conversation that we had on August 26th included just some logistical considerations regarding how it will operate, who it will operate with. There were some follow-up items regarding getting some of the documents related to the organization, including the MOUs with the different partners, the bylaws, some additional questions about how they would interact with other stakeholders in the community. And then one of the other items was measures of equity, which some initial information has been submitted, and I know that's an ongoing item that their board is going to continue to include in the work that they do. But I think one way that we'll be able to continue to monitor that is a suggestion that Sarah had made, or more of a request that Douglas County have a representation on the board of directors. So I'm pleased to report that Pam Wiegand, our Director of Criminal Justice Services, has agreed, was nominated by Sarah, and has agreed and is very pleased to serve on the board. I put some information in my background memo, and you have a copy of the community partner agreement, which is the agreement that we use with the majority of our community partner agencies to govern how we work with them, provide funding and accountability. This is an FY 2021 request. So, and I know Dr. Jennifer Hansen is on the call the Zoom to answer any questions if there are any.
Any questions, commissioners?
I don't have any. I just want to thank them for, the numerous study sessions and meetings that we've had, and their efforts in moving this forward and working with us for regarding our concerns. And so thank you very much.
One thing I'll add to that, once we get past this stage, I know Dr. Hansen and I have talked about setting up time to come and look at potential space at the Douglas County Human Services Hub building. So we'll be working on that here now that we've crossed this important point. And we'll keep you updated as that moves forward.
Jill, do you have any idea when we might see those bylaws? Have those bylaws been completed?
I have them, and I can provide those as follow-ups to each of you. I wasn't sure what all you wanted in your agenda packets, but I do have those. I have copies of the MOUs. They provided everything that we asked them to provide. So I'll follow up on that with each of you.
Yeah, I'd just like to read them. If administration's recommendation is to approve, that's fine by me. I'd just like to read them over. And do you know how long Pam's term is?
I don't know that. I can look at that. And Dr. Hansen, I don't know if you know that off the top of your head. I can try to look here real quick.
Yeah, her term is for a year starting from now, and then with the opportunity to continue after that.
Okay. Any other questions, comments, or motions, commissioners?
No.
I'd move that we approve the community partner agreement for FY 2021 with Child Advocacy Center of Douglas County for general program support.
Second.
Moved and seconded. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Passes 3-0. Jill, thanks for your work on all that, and Sarah and the whole team. Really appreciate it. It's exciting stuff.
Did we have any public comment on that, Commissioner Kelly?
Thank you. My fault. Is there any public comment on this item? We moved quick, didn't we?
There's no public comment here at the courthouse.
Thank you.
And I don't see any online.
Thank you. Whew.
Thank you.
All right. Slow down. Moving on to item number 3, which is a repeal of resolution number 2003, authorizing the construction of capital improvement project of Douglas County.
Commissioners, we placed this resolution on your agenda based off of commission considerations that occurred earlier this year. And I think the agenda item report outlines that this is in the commission's lap for further direction.
Thank you, Sarah. Commissioners, questions for Sarah before we open it up for public comment?
I don't have any questions.
I don't have any questions either. I do think it'd be good to spend a moment either before or after the vote talking about the need, the kind of the deferred maintenance that we've got that was going to be rolled into the jail expansion project. That we have serious HVAC and elevator issues and some, I think, some door security issues that we probably don't want to let sit unaddressed. So I just think we need to touch on that. So Sarah and folks at the jail have some sense of what they can count on in terms of maintenance.
Yes, Commissioner Thalman is correct. Included in the project was some substantial deferred maintenance needs in that project. Approximately, I'd say at a minimum of $2 million of the project. It could be higher than that now with cost increases. And some additional things that have been found through the design and construction process. So if that's something that the commission could give us further direction as to how they'd like to go about it, we'd be glad to talk about those maintenance issues.
But maybe something we need to have either a presentation or a work session, one of the two, just to get us up to date on where we stand with those needs. And so we can make a decision of how to move forward to address those. Because I know that a couple of those we've been waiting, it's been at least 2 years, maybe 3 years, putting them off. So I know that they need to be addressed.
Yeah, and that I was going to say that's my thought. We waited and waited and waited, thinking they would be part of the expansion project, and since that is not moving forward, I would think we would be negligent if we don't figure out a way to get those maintenance and repair projects done so that they have heat in the winter and air conditioning in the summer and elevators that don't stall between floors. I just think it's a matter of safety and just regular function of the jail to fix those internal pieces of the structure. So has nothing to do, it doesn't expand the jail a square inch. It just keeps the heating and the cooling working and keeps the elevators working. So whether we talk about that tonight or another time, I just wanted to raise that issue.
I think my preference would be that if that is something the commission would like more information on as to the status, what's included in that list, and that cost information, I'd like to get with sheriff's office staff, county maintenance staff, and our capital projects director, and bring that back to the commission at a future meeting.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Do we have any public comment on this item?
I don't have anyone here at the courthouse.
Do we have someone online, Jill?
We do have someone online, so I'll move them. We have a couple folks online. I'll move Brent Hoffman over first. Go ahead, Brent.
Good evening, commissioners and county staff. My name is Brent Hoffman, 1148 Van Tile in Lawrence,
We
Kansas.
can't hear you. Brent, I'm not sure if your audio is connected.
I'm not muted. Patrick, you can hear me?
Yeah, I can hear. Yeah, I think commissioners, can you hear?
I can hear him also.
Okay, great. I will begin my comment. It's a short comment, 2 parts. Firstly, the immediate release of inmates without sacrificing public safety following the pandemic has exposed the great potential for criminal justice reform. And we urge the county commission to put the notion of jail expansion behind us and press for a full, comprehensive, data-driven process, like I've said before, to understand what's going on before and after the pandemic. And as you all know, the Vera Institute for Justice has an open offer to do just that at no cost to Douglas County taxpayers. I'd urge this body to reconsider that offer. The other comment I have is related to the way that the Board of County Commissioners attempted to finance the jail expansion. It's pretty shady and undemocratic of the county commission to use revenue from a vote that took place 25 years ago to finance a project that citizens of Douglas County voted not to fund just 2 years ago. And should you all choose to use, or future county commissioners choose to use the 94 sales tax revenue to debt finance a future project, be it jail expansion or otherwise, I would hope that you would respect voters enough to publish notice about your intentions as stated in the statute, Kansas Statute 12195B, Section E, so that if taxpayers disagree with your plans, they can at least exercise the modest democratic tools provided to them by Kansas state statute to circulate a petition that, if successful, will put the project to a vote. So I would hope that that would happen next time. So thank you very much. That's the end of my comment.
Thank you, Brent. Appreciate it.
The next public comment is from Barbara Palmer, and I've moved her over.
Thank you. Hi, Barbara. You can just unmute and address the commission whenever you're ready.
Go ahead, Barbara.
Okay, thank you. This is the listening season for, I need to tell you where I live. I'm Barbara Palmer and I'm at 4019 Parkway Court in Lawrence. And I've been a part of Justice Matters for the last 6 years and have worked, as you know, with the Criminal Justice Reform Committee for quite a long time. This is the listening season for us, and it's in the form of house meetings, and because they're all virtual, our church is about 4 this year. We had the first one on Sunday, and we had about 40 people there for that, and divided up into rooms for discussion. We have 3 more meetings scheduled. There's a lot of anger out there and hurt, certainly not all because of this, but people are on edge. I hope that with this vote tonight, can be a turning point so that we can work together for all the positive things that you're doing and that we want to do. And treatment for addictions is high on the priority list. And I think you know the other issues that we're working on. The racial issues are certainly high priority across the city right now. So thank you for considering this tonight, and we're trusting that your vote will make a turnaround for us. Thank you.
Thank you, Barbara. Appreciate your comments. Any other public comment on this item? Okay, seeing none, we'll bring it back up to the commission for motions, comments, more questions.
If there aren't any comments or questions, I would like to make the motion.
Yeah, I might have a comment or two, but I'm willing to go ahead and go ahead and make the motion.
Oh, no, go ahead. I'm not going anywhere.
Yeah, I mean, I want to reinforce, we've said it before at earlier meetings, things have really changed. And I'm encouraged and I'm hopeful when I see the work of our criminal justice partners. We challenged them some months ago and they continue to work. I want to thank Mike Brower for continuing to work with those criminal justice partners to try to get some answers. And, many of the things that are being done now, wasn't like they weren't being asked for before. So I'm really excited about that. And it seemed like no amount of advocacy did it. It took a global pandemic. And so this gives me hope. I hope we're not in a difficult situation when it comes to the summer. But I think that's something that we have to consider and the challenges that will come with that. So just want to extend my thanks to the many partners who we challenged quite a number of months ago. Those numbers have continued to stay down, and I think we all hope as a community they will continue to stay down.
Anything else?
No.
Oh, okay. I move to repeal resolution number 20-03, authorizing the construction of capital improvement project of Douglas County.
Second.
Moved and seconded. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Aye. Passes 3-0. Thank you, commissioners. Thanks for the public comment, folks. Moving on to item 2.4. This is a resolution to support and submit an application to the Kansas Housing Resources Corporation Moderate Income Housing Program. And this is Jill again.
Good evening, commissioners. The cover memo and the subject matter explains we're seeking your support for the resolution for the county to submit a application to the Kansas Housing Resources Corporation for a moderate income housing program. This program, this grant application has been developed. Well, first a little background on the MIH grant. There's set aside $2 million from the State Housing Trust Fund. The highest award granted is up to $400,000, which is what the total application is for Douglas County. The target audience for this grant is households that do not qualify for federal housing assistance in cities or for counties that are fewer than 60,000 people. For our application, we were able to get clarification from KHRC that if you take Lawrence out of the equation, Douglas County's application could be considered as one of those fewer than 60,000 for the consideration of this application. And you can see the moderate income range that is listed here, but it's based on HUD's 2020 state income limits, just to give you a sense of what ranges we're looking at for this program. This program was brought to my attention. This grant application was brought to my attention by our friends at the Lawrence Douglas County Housing Authority last year as a potential opportunity for the county to be involved in increasing affordable housing opportunities out in the county. And at the time that I first became aware of it, it was almost too late. But at that time, shortly after that, we started having a conversation with some of the housing community development stakeholders in the community. And that includes tenants to homeowners and Lawrence Habitat for Humanity, who ended up being some of the lead partners in this project. So about 2 months ago, the executive directors from those organizations, including Erica Zimmerman, who's with the executive director with Lawrence Habitat for Humanity, who's on the call tonight. We got together along with Barack Matit and Jeff Rhodes from City of Eudora, and Glenn Rodden and Dave Hill from Baldwin City to talk about what would be possible. And turns out a lot could be possible. And what we've put together is what we think is a compelling application that will create some significant lasting affordable housing impacts in both these communities. I outline in the cover memo what's proposed for Eudora in terms of what will be led by Lawrence Habitat for Humanity for some properties that they'd already owned. New construction that will then be have some first-time home buyer contributions that will be go in with that, that will be utilized with the MIH funding if it's granted. And then in Baldwin, you'll see three new homes constructed along with funds used for lot purchases, down payment assistance as well. And for both projects in Baldwin and Eudora, have them permanently included in the Lawrence Community Housing Trust so that they become permanently affordable assets to these communities. The ask on behalf of Douglas County is to put in some matching support of $10,000 for each community, so a total of $20,000. This is a one-time match. We will see similar matching commitments from the cities in terms of permitting fees being waived, things of that nature. In Baldwin City, they've got a property tax reprieve for up to 5 years, I believe. I don't have that note right in front of me, but a lot of enthusiasm and a lot of support from the city of Baldwin and the city of Eudora with their city commissions that learned about this last week and the week before. Erica's on the call if you have any questions of Erica or myself, and our plan is to submit the application on Monday. And the hope is that we'll be notified by, I believe, early December is the date.
Questions, commissioners?
No, I just want to say that I was really excited to see these programs in these two communities. So thank you for your work on it, Jill and Erica. This is good to see.
I was going to echo or add my thanks, Jill and Erica. And Jill especially, your extra effort on behalf of Baldwin and Eudora always is really outstanding. In the e-community, and I mean, you have really helped make a difference in the economic vitality of those two communities, and now housing and social services. I just really appreciate your extra work for those communities, and know that I know for a fact that they're super grateful for your work. So thanks a lot.
Thank you. And one thing I will add that, a conversation that Sarah and I have had, and I've passed this along to Glenn and Barack and Eudora and Baldwin, that this is a great example of how the county can be engaged with the two smaller cities on enhancing affordable housing outside of Lawrence. And so we'd like to continue to have these opportunities and see a greater partnership with those cities based on the hopeful success of this application. And if it works, then hopefully we can do it again.
Well, and I guess to that's where I'd kind of like to chime in a little bit in terms of this. This is generally the county has been engaged in supportive housing. So this is not necessarily supportive housing, it's permanently affordable housing. And inside the city of Lawrence, they've taken the initiative to develop have a tax and an affordable housing trust fund to help support that notion of affordable housing in their community. I think this is a really unique opportunity with this particular grant to do this work in this space. But I think it's up to the commission really to define in the future is what's the county's role in supporting affordable housing at this level, and what is the impact of that on supportive housing? Because we know the great needs are great there as well. And so I think this is a unique opportunity, and I think we can certainly look for additional opportunities. But my hope is that perhaps our city partners would take a more active role in funding some of those initiatives similar to has been done here in the city of Lawrence.
And I do have a question, Jill or Erica, I don't know who, but was there any conversation or are there any opportunities for future grants maybe with the city of Lecompton? Because I know that they have several infill lots that they've been looking for affordable housing or some sort of senior housing, different types of ways to fill in these lots that they have in their community. So I didn't know if they were approached or if there might be future opportunities for that.
I did not approach them, and I regret that. But I think that that's one of the things that we've talked about with the project team for this application is we should keep having this conversation, and so I think we can do that in Lecompton the next round, or just start being a little more intentional about what is our, just building on what Sarah just said and the will of the commission, how we want to approach this as a county. I think that between Lawrence Habitat and Tenants to Homeowners, you have a lot of energy of the part of those two organizations to be a presence outside of Lawrence and be more involved in the smaller communities in the county. And Erica, I don't know if you have anything to add on that note.
Oh wait, I'm in my car. I forget where I can see my mask off. This is an opportunity for us to learn a lot about this type of funding and this type of opportunities with different communities. So I definitely see if we're successful, and even if we're not successful in this attempt, that this is open door and an opportunity to have a lot of great conversations and move this work forward. So I definitely see an opportunity for moving into some of those other communities with projects very similar to this one.
Okay, thank you.
Jill or Erica, Commissioner Kelly, just wondering if, Lawrence did a pretty robust study about the affordable housing needs in the community. Are we aware of those same needs in these other communities?
I don't think we have a comprehensive, we just have word of mouth. We have just the testimonials of the city, the two cities, that this is something, from a workforce housing perspective and for seniors. So for young families, workforce housing, but also for seniors, those are the two populations that they immediately thought of as being most beneficial of a program like this. It would have been, we kind of just cobbled together resources to try to document that need and the firsthand awareness that folks like Erica and even Rebecca, from Tenants to Homeowners were aware of. I know that Rebecca and maybe Erica had said in the past that they do get inquiries for what's available properties or opportunities outside of Lawrence, in Eudora and in Baldwin. They're desirable places to live. Again, I think building on what Sarah said a little bit ago, about if the will of the commission is for us to get more involved in this, I think it would be really interesting, and that could be a good partnership with our cities to do some sort of a study to better understand that. Commissioner Kelly.
Thank you. I think my internet froze up there for a second. I'm excited about this project. I just want to make sure that we're, I guess my comments would echo a lot of Sarah's. I want to be really thoughtful about our approach to this. making sure that as a county we're supporting affordable housing across the board, and I too would like to see some more engagement with our other cities as well, and then offering that same support back to Lawrence for the work that they're doing. So just, you know, I'm fine with this. I want us to take more time in the future and be more thoughtful about it. Not that we weren't thoughtful here, but I just put more time into it and understand what the demand is, what our expectations of it would be, both from a partnership perspective and as those who maybe need to initiate a little more on this front.
Well, Commissioner Kelly, Rebecca Buford just joined us too. And Rebecca, I don't know if you want to add anything about tenants to homeowners role in this project, or just any opportunities that you see in the future on similar opportunities.
Thank you, Jill. I won't take long, and I'm sorry I was having trouble getting in. Yeah, we look forward to moving outside of Lawrence, and we know there's just as much demand in the county for affordable housing. So I'm really excited that Eric and I work well together. We've done habitat built and kept in trust in Lawrence. So I think that model can be expanded, where we really ensure that any subsidy that's put in is not going to be lost with resales immediately. You know, that affordability is really long-term stock of affordable housing. And so, you know, getting this MIH money is a pot that, you know, in Lawrence we can't get to. And so being able to bring that to Baldwin and Eudora is really exciting. That's all I've got. I'm sorry. I should have said I'm done.
No,
I just
you're good.
stopped.
You're good. All good. I think Commissioner Kelly froze. He's good now.
Rebecca and I seem to have the same internet provider today. This is a public agenda item. So why do I do that? This is a regular agenda item. All of our agenda items are public. Sarah, is there anyone who would like to provide public comment on this?
Not here at the courthouse.
Okay. Jill, anyone online?
No, not that I'm seeing.
Okay. Well, if it's okay with commissioners and if I don't freeze, I'd be happy to make the motion to authorize a resolution in support of Douglas County's application for the Kansas Housing Resource Corporation Moderate Income Housing Grant with $20,000 in one-time matching support from general fund reserves.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any further comment? All those in favor say aye.
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 Aye. Passes 3-0. We'll move on to appointments. Don't think we have any at this time, commissioners.
I don't have one yet, but I did ask Sarah to recirculate a resume that we received regarding a rural resident in Clinton, the little town of Clinton, as a possibility for replacement of a planning commissioner who resigned. So I think we do need to move on filling that seat, and I guess I'd like everyone to kind of take a fresh look at that. I've met with him and would be interested to know if you all are ready to move forward or have any other ideas. So
thanks for that reminder, Commissioner Thelman. We need to fill that very important spot.
Right.
I will make sure that we get that back to the top of your pile.
Okay, there's no appointments. We'll move to general public comment. General public comment will be at the end of each meeting with a limit of 1 comment per person. The commission reserves the right to place a time limit of 3 minutes per speaker if desired. Individuals may not give unused time to other speakers. As a general practice, the commission will not discuss, debate, nor will the commission make decisions on items presented during this time. Rather, they will refer to the items to staff for follow-up if necessary. All comments should be directed to the commission. If you would like to add to general public comment, just need to raise your hand if you're online, or if you're there at the courthouse, let Sarah know. Sarah, anyone there?
We don't have anyone here.
Thanks. Jill, anyone online? It doesn't look like we have
I'm
any.
not seeing anyone.
Close general public comment and move on to commissioner or administrator miscellaneous. I'll start with Sarah.
Thanks, commissioners. You kind of have a full packet this week up with several different items. Want to remind everyone about the virtual tour of Douglas County's local food system via Zoom this upcoming Friday. There's updated information in your packet about a community compost and food waste reduction grant that Douglas County is one of 13 communities in the country to receive this. So that's really exciting news and interesting stuff. And can we continue to be a leader in this work? And then in addition to that, in the packet, as the commission approved recently, a project with Van Gogh related to placing a mural on our under an overpass or near 31st Street. In the packet is just a sketch of that mural. Wanted to run it past the commission, just make sure that they were aware of it. We're trying to move really rapidly on that project to take advantage of the great weather and before it gets too cold. So we didn't want to wait for a more formal review, and obviously really rely and trust on the folks at Van Gogh for their work. They work specifically with some folks at Haskell Indian Nations University to come up with the design and really help inform the work of the youth through that process. So a picture of that is in your packet. There's also some information related to the SLT alternative. You all got an email on that, as well as a legislative update. So it's a pretty full packet with a lot of information. And just let me know if you have any questions on that.
Sarah, any thoughts on the SLT? That was encouraging news and not where I thought they were going, to be honest with you. I thought we were looking at a tolled road there. Do you have any thoughts on that?
Yeah, it does appear to be a really great turn of events, and I've had some initial conversations with Public Works Director Chad Voigt on what he's hearing from KDOT on it. I think I'd rather have him come back and have just a, briefly update the commission in the near future, just with the latest as to what he's hearing. That this is what can happen. The safety improvements that can happen before the whole thing is expanded, and the willingness of KDOT to see and recognize that he believes that we've made real progress. So I'd be glad to have Chad come back and just update the commission if you'd like that.
I would appreciate that. And I'm just sort of interested if I guess I didn't think it was going to go this direction a little bit. And so part of me is wondering if we can use Stewart Services a little bit in that, that wasn't really the charge we gave him, but I was curious about that a little bit.
And I did mention that to Chad, that we had secured little government relations and to try to make some connections there so that Stewart can be aware that, I do think it's potentially a really challenging, legislative session upcoming, and revenue issues at the state level are pretty dramatic. So it's going to be important that we defend, and that we at least are aware of what's happening on this very important project for our community. So I'll talk to Chad and see if he can be available to have a quick update to the commission in the near future.
Thank you.
In addition to that, what we did not get included in this, but I will make sure we get included in next week's memo, is I'm beginning to fill up the calendar quite a bit with some work sessions and some different topics for the rest of the year. In addition to that, the commissioners are being asked to check their calendars numerous times for various groundbreakings and ribbon cuttings at the behavioral health campus. So more details to come on those issues. And then also November is a weird month for us with meetings. Veterans Day falls on a Wednesday this year. So the county is observes Veterans Day as a holiday. So we would not be meeting on November 11th. And then traditionally, the county commission has taken the Wednesday before Thanksgiving off as just getting ready for the Thanksgiving holiday. So that gives us 2 meetings in November. So want to make sure everyone's aware of that. And if the commission has any concerns, you know, we can certainly do our best as staff to address that. And that's all I have.
Thanks, Sarah. I think we have plenty going on in November, just maybe not county commission meetings. Commissioners, any other items? All right. Well, thank you, Sarah, to your entire team. Thank you, commissioners, for your patience with me getting here virtually tonight. I really appreciate it. And so with that, we are adjourned.